call to order. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for I think it's the first open house that I have ever been part of in Toastmasters. We've talked about them a lot, but this is the first one we've actually put together. So thank you for all of our guests that are joining us this evening. Barb, you're not a guest, but still, yeah, thank you for joining us. I'll turn things over now to our president.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. We have some people in the room who we've met before, but I just want to go ahead and, since this is the first time we've actually seen you in person, at least that I've seen you in person, please introduce yourselves. We'll start with Miguel.
Yeah, so my name is Miguel. Kind of the purpose of me being on Toastmasters is my current role. I'm an operations system coordinator for a company called Jimadon, flavors and fragrance here within the Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. So there's just this role, I'm more of a facilitator among sites, so I was really trying to enhance my public speaking skills and communication skills as well to help me overall in my career. So,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Dax?
Alright, well, I'm not as interesting as him. I'm just kidding. My name is Meshan. I'm Daniel Schaefer husband. So I came here. I've been joining your media chat and stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool what you guys were doing. But today I wanted to see in person and keep him company, see how these speeches going to be today, which I'm really excited to hear. I haven't seen it myself. I haven't heard about it yet. So I'm excited and nice to meet every one of you. So yeah, appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Daniel Schaefer, and it's been a while since I've been here. I'm glad to be back, and yeah, he kind of clues you in a little bit about how much I practice in this speech. But
Yeah.
hopefully you'll enjoy it. And,
I'm sure
it's
we
nice
will.
to meet you all.
All right. I am super excited because one of our people that has rejoined our club recently, but has only been here virtually, has been our illustrious Toastmaster of the evening. Do we have anybody else who's online? We also have somebody else who hasn't been here since they've had their baby.
Francisco,
Everybody say hi
I
to
have the
Olivia.
word of the day.
Yeah. No, I have it there.
Is the baby anywhere near?
Okay, what is it?
She is actually taking a nap,
Ah.
and hopefully we will
Okay.
sleep through the meeting. If not, my husband is well equipped to
Why don't
feed
we
her.
use refresh,
Okay.
since that's part of the theme?
All right. well, we're glad to
I'll
have you
sprinkle
this
it.
evening,
I'll
Olivia.
sprinkle it.
Use
I'll
refresh?
be back.
Okay.
I'll sprinkle it.
I am going to go ahead and get on the program and invite our Toastmaster of the evening, Francisco Palacio, to the front. Francisco.
Yes, it's a rather interesting feeling after having been denied the privilege of being together, to be back in a room with everyone. And yes, now that we are mastering the Zoom, to me it's kind of cool that we're able to extend the footprint, not only on Zoom, but on that camera. Our first live stream ever on YouTube, so hello YouTube, hello Zoom, hello everybody. I am supposed to do a few things as your Toastmaster, including being the humorist. It's not my forte, so let's see how this one goes. So this guy goes out into the wilderness, and he walks by this creek, and all of a sudden he sits down for a drink, and all of a sudden he hears a whisper, hey, 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 pick me up, and he looks around, and it's a frog. He goes like, whoa, picks up the frog. Yes, yes. And if you kiss me, I'm a princess. I'm under a spell. Please kiss me. I'm a princess. And he goes like, no. Puts it in his pocket, keeps going. A week goes by, the frog keeps going. Hey, hey, I'm a princess. If you kiss me, I'll turn into this resplendent beauty, and that will help you reboot, refresh, and refocus. That's the theme of tonight. As you're beloved princess, and we'll get to a castle. He goes like, nah, he puts the lid back on it. A month goes by, and the frog is frantic. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. What's going on? Kiss me. I'm a princess. And the guy goes, listen, I'm an IT guy. I'd rather have a talking frog. Thank you. I'm an IT guy. Reboot. And that's the theme of tonight. Reboot, refresh, refocus. Again, we haven't had one of these opportunities to promote, invite people, work on an arguably leaner agenda. For everyone who cares, the word of the day is resplendent. Resplendent. Synonyms are brilliant or lustrous. I hope they pronounce that right, lustrous. And as an example, she wore a resplendent gown to the reception. Again, word of the day.
So I look at resplendent.
For everybody who's watching, word of the day is resplendent. And now, I'm going to go into my actual mode and borrow the intro from somebody else's external brain. Thank you. Mine is playing you to it tonight. Since we're getting loud. Door. Okay, straight up. Okay. So please join me in welcoming Daniel Schaefer. Daniel is a best-selling author, award-winning Les Brown certified speaker, and international award-winning magician. You hear that, frog? Behind the accolades, he's an adult survivor of child abuse, queer, and diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, and autism spectrum disorder. Daniel says, your strengths come from what makes you unique. Daniel has learned that that's what makes him different. Is exactly what allowed him to raise $100,000 for a charity in 2021 and connect with communities of people, connect one-to-one with communities of people through his work with Love Must Win. Again, Love Must Win. Daniel looks forward to meeting you tonight and reminds you that you are as special and valuable just as you are. Please allow me to introduce Daniel Schaefer with his title, Connect with Others by Connecting with Yourself, Daniel Schaefer.
Thank you. I'm going to set this down right here. Just a little timer. You'll see why in just a bit. So, my name's Daniel, and I'm a magician. That's what most people hear first when they see me. They're like, oh, should be a magic trick. But I'm also autistic. I'm also gay. And I've been through all of these other experiences. The thing is that those experiences that we've all been through shape us into the person that we are. They give us certain tools. They give us abilities to be able to move forward and to be able to touch other people's lives. Whatever your role is, whatever you're doing, if you can tap into who you are, you can connect that with your job role to be able to truly make a difference. So my goal here is not to do anything that's going to fundamentally change the way you think. I'm just hoping to kind of share some ideas and share some thoughts that'll be able to get you to transform the way that you think. And think of things in a way that might make what was once impossible suddenly seem possible. So, before we get started, I want to know why you're all here. It's more of a workshop type feeling, but raise of hands. Do any of you want to get something out of this tonight? What do you want to get out of this tonight?
Connections.
How about you?
Everybody, or every meeting is different, so I want to learn something new and different.
And how about you?
I just want to spend time with my friends.
Excellent. And then who else had their hands up? What do you want to get out of today's meeting?
I can concur with Kevin and Sheila that new experience and just connecting with people.
All right. How about you?
It was my first Toastmaster reunion. I think it's pretty exciting to get to see what's everybody doing. So it's a new experience and just making friends again.
And then how about you?
Just learning from one each other.
Self-improvement.
I always need practice with something.
Self-improvement, connections, practice, and just learning from one another. I want to try something. And so just bear with me. And then afterwards, I want you to let me know how it felt. That right there was 1 minute of silence. As humans, we constantly get in the mode of going and doing things and what's next, and silence is something that's hard for our brain to experience because we're constantly human doings instead of human beings. Now I'll tell you what I saw standing up here in that moment of silence without telling you what I was going to do. I only saw 2 of you actually sit there the whole time. Everyone else ended up grabbing something, fidgeting, messing around with something else. And that's because internally, it's hard for us to sit and just be. Especially with people that are goal-oriented. When we're goal-oriented, we are constantly looking at how to get to the next spot. And so just existing is something that can be difficult to do. This is something that I've struggled with. This is something my husband can tell you all about it. I'm very goal-oriented. And recently I've felt burnt out. The pandemic was a big part of that. It's burned a lot of people out. The APA says that 3 out of 5 people in the United States are experiencing some form of burnout in their professional life or in their personal life due to the pandemic. And that burnout can be anxiety. It can be feeling, depression, feeling like you're just not able to reach what you want to reach, just feelings of restlessness, not sleeping as well at night. And one of the ways that we fix that is through that mindfulness, through that dropping in and being at peace with ourselves, realizing who we are in that moment. Now, as a magician, I'm all about creating these experiences. I'm all about not just sharing an idea with you, but allowing you to experience it. And so my hope is that with that moment of silence, you'll try that again tonight, and maybe try it again tomorrow. Just start with a minute. Just sit for a minute and do nothing. And then watch over the next week and see what happens. Now, this falls into something called non-striving. This is a really good idea for reboot, refresh, and refocus. Non-striving is an incredible idea. How many of you have heard of it before? This is actually something I just recently learned about. Non-striving is the idea that if you want to achieve something, don't strive for it. Because the harder you work for a specific goal, the more you end up holding yourself back. A lot of athletes do this, and instead of striving for the outcome, you look at the small little parts. What does it take to be a good leader? It takes paying attention to the little things. It takes connecting to your employees. It takes letting them know that you appreciate them. So instead of going, I want to be a great leader one day, instead you focus just on the little things. And every day you say, I appreciate you every time you leave your interaction. Every day you take time to connect. Every day you take time to do those things and honor those pieces that will eventually make you a great leader. And I want to tell you a little story about that because I'm a best-selling author. But when I was a kid, you could put a gun against my head and sit me down at a computer and say, write a paragraph, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would sit there for hours trying to write my assignments. It was awful. And then when I served the mission, I grew up in the Mormon church, and I went on that 2-year mission. And every morning, as I was reading scriptures, I would try and write down my thoughts. And at first, I was terrible at it. I'd just write down maybe a sentence or 2. But after about 9 months, I was writing pages. And by the time that I came home, I had gotten to the point where if I had an idea in my head, I could put it down on the paper. And then one day, I was in a meeting and they told me about this book that they were putting together. And when I told them my story, they said, we have to have you a part of our book. And the opportunity was there. And I had always wanted to be an author. And so I said yes. And I wrote that section, I contributed, and it ended up becoming a best-selling book. Now, when I was a kid, I could have said, oh, it'd be so cool to be an author. But I didn't become a best-selling author because I wanted to become a best-selling author, and I had always wanted to do it. It was because every single day I took time to write. The principle of non-striving. I reached that goal without even trying because I focused on the little things. I want you to think about what your goals are in your life. I want you to think about the things that you really want to achieve. And instead of thinking about the outcome, think about the steps that it's going to take to reach those goals. And I want you to ask yourself, can I do those steps and honor those steps and let go of the outcome? Whether it comes or not, can I just focus on these steps? Because I can tell you that that is non-striving. And you will accomplish more by releasing that outcome and just focusing on the little steps than you will by focusing on the end goal. So we talked a lot about how some of you want to connect with each other. What does that mean? What do the connections mean? When you think of connecting with another person, what does that bring to your mind?
That they pick up the phone when I call them? Because we don't pick up the phone anymore.
No, we don't pick up the phone anymore.
We screen every call.
How about you, John?
Connect is an interesting word. The first time I bought a web domain, the word connect was in that name. And connect has got to do with an exchange of value of some kind. So in the widest possible meaning of value, there needs to be some exchange of value. But I think it's also, I don't want to overthink it, so let me just stop there.
Sebastian, how about you? When you think of connecting with others, what does that mean?
Well, I was actually thinking that connection can mean lots of things. Meeting new people or connecting with your family, an old friend, or any related to that, especially with, let's say, my situation that I come from a different country and my first language was Spanish, and learning English actually let me connect to more people than I thought I was going to be able to do, and being able to still be connected with my people in my country, being connected to new people here is, it's a good feeling. Sharing experiences, values, and create that connection is what I believe is my connection with others.
Excellent. And then Sheila, what's your idea around connection?
Connection. As a nurse, it's very important that you are able to connect with your patients, with your families, oftentimes in some of the most stressful situations in their life. Currently, I work in the operating room at Children's Hospital. That is a very stressful time. And to be able to make an impactful connection with a family, to know that they can trust you with their most precious possession is really an honor. You know, you kind of play a politician role. You gotta kiss the baby, shake the hand, smile, and grandma's there, you gotta pat grandma on the back, and just really make them feel like you believe. Families getting ready to say a prayer before the child goes back. You stop what you're doing, you stand there, you hold their hands, and you say a prayer with them so that they feel that they've made a connection with you and that you're somebody that they can trust with their child.
Okay. It's interesting because we all have different definitions of connection. We've got business connections, we've got personal connections, we've got interrelational connections, we've got community connections. To me, I feel like the idea of Ubuntu is how I best like to describe that connection. The idea that we are all human only in relation to each other. We're all part of that fabric of humanity. We're all connected. And when you're able to tap into that connection, you're able to build the business connections. You're able to build those relationships with your patients. You're able to build the relationships with your community. And I know that some of you wanted to have new experiences, so I actually want to try something with all of you to kind of demonstrate that connection that we have. So who would like to help me out?
I always need practice.
All right, John, go ahead and step outside the door for us for just a moment, and we'll be right out to grab you.
Oh, you're making them disappear.
That's a magic trick.
And I've just made someone disappear. Okay, so in a moment, when I hold up one finger, I want you to think the meanest, most terrible things that you can to John. Don't say it out loud, don't show it on your face, just think the thoughts. When I hold up two fingers, I want you to think positive thoughts, positive affirmations towards him. Just really build him up, these positive affirmations. So 2, the peace sign, positive, 1 is negative. Got it?
So just think them, we don't say it
Just
out
think
loud.
them, don't show anything on your face. Keep your face flat. All right, would you go grab John for me, please? All right, let's give him a big round of applause. All right, John, go ahead and stand right here for me. Go ahead and face him that way. And have you ever done muscle testing?
No.
All right.
Maybe.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you put your arms straight out just like this, and I'm going to push down, but don't let me push your hand down. Resist, resist. There you go, just like that. All right, now we're going to try a couple of questions to establish a baseline. So first, I want you to tell me the truth, and then when you answer, just resist. Don't let me push it down. What is your name?
John.
Resist, resist. There you go. All right, another one. What color is the exit sign?
Red.
Good. All right, now this time I want you to lie. What color is the floor?
Blue.
You gotta resist, John. Resist, don't let it go down. All right,
Blue.
lie again. What color is that smiley face?
Orange.
All right, so now this time, just resist. Don't let me push down your hand at all. All right? Ready, resist. I said resist, come on, come on. You gotta resist. You gotta resist. Oh, very good, just like that. We'll try again. Try again. What happened? You gotta resist. Come on, come on. We'll try again, come on. Really resist this time. Don't let me push it down. Come on, come on. You can do it. We'll try one more time, all right? One more time. Here we go. Resist. Just this arm. Good, just like that. So now they're all going to ask you, and they're all wondering right now, was I pushing different on them?
Yes.
I was pushing harder on the one where you couldn't push it down, huh? Do you need to try again? Here, I'll do it with one finger.
Struck me as quite right.
Here, watch.
Yes.
Watch.
Yes.
One finger.
Yes.
Come on, resist. Resist. One finger.
Good.
Same pressure, right?
Good. Yeah.
You just lost energy on something, didn't you?
Apparently.
All right, let's give him a big round of applause. So John, to fill you in, what we were doing is, when I held up one finger, they all thought mean thoughts towards you. And when I held up two fingers, they thought positive affirmations towards you. And when I held up the two fingers, you were able to keep your arm up. But when I held up one, you lost all of the strength.
Ah. Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
This right here is, to me, real magic. This shows the connection that we have to each other. I can't explain it, but I do know that when you surround yourself with negative people, you feel the energy sucked out of you. And this right here is an actual demonstration showing you how that works. So as you're building your connections, whether it's with patients, whether it's with employees, whether it's with business networking, if you go with those positive affirmations in your mind, if you're building them up, they will feel that energy coming off of you. And you'll be able to establish rapport even better. You see, we're all connected. We're all part of the web of the human experience. We send energy and we receive energy. I don't know exactly how that looks or how it works, but I know that I've tried this exact same experiment blindfolded, and it still worked out the same. And so I know that we are connected. And each and every one of you have something within you that other people need to hear. And it's through that connection that you're able to share that message, make that difference, strengthen your employees, give peace to your patients, be able to help those that you network with, your family, your community.
Have somebody pick up the phone.
Exactly. Give it a shot. Next time that you're going to call on the phone, think of the person that you're going to call and send positive energy towards them and see if they have a vibe to pick up the phone. Give it a shot, and if it works, tell me about it.
No, it works. You're 100% right. That's why they don't pick up.
Anyways, my name's Daniel Schaefer, and you know, my life's been a little strange. I've experienced a lot of things, but I want to share some of those with you, and I hope that maybe you've gotten a little something to think about, something you can take into your personal life, your careers, and your employment to help make this world a little better place. Thank you.
You're the most wonderful, awesome person that I could think of. Beep, bop, boop, bop, beep. Hey, Daniel, I believe personally this whole none is thriving. That song, hold on loosely, but don't let it go. If you cling too tightly, you're gonna lose control. That's the theme to what you taught us today. That's what happens at these meetings. We end up teaching each other our life experience, or like John says, just how to practice. We learn. It's definitely a learning experience. Okay, so since you are our one speaker, correct? There's nobody waiting for a speech online? No? Okay. You are automatically our best speaker. So another round of applause to our keynote speaker. Next up, and we have lots of time for it. Oh, I lost the clock here.
It's over there in the
What
corner.
time is it? Oh, okay, perfect. So it's 6:30? 7:30, okay. Great. So right now, we have the good luck of having a lot of time for table topics, and Kevin Voorhees, DTM, past district governor, and I think, what is it, 7, 8 DTMs you have right now? Or 10?
Pardon me?
How many DTMs have you completed?
6.
Okay. Here. Okay. A resplendent table topics round. Thank you, Kevin.
This is typically the second portion of our Toastmasters meeting. It's called Table Topics or Impromptu Speaking. This is when we learn how to stand up, speak up, and sit down. The time for table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. So not only are you training yourself to think off the top of your head, you're also training yourself to speak within a particular time frame. I will be giving a total of 5 topics. Would either of our guests like to take part? You would, okay. Sebastian?
Yeah, we'll give it a
Okay. Using the word of the day, resplendent. What is the most relaxing vacation you've ever taken? Olivia.
Was the question the most relaxing vacation that I have taken, and I have to use the word resplendent?
The most relaxing.
And respond.
I'm pausing to think drastically because growing up, my family did a lot of day trips. We didn't necessarily go on vacation per se, because Dad had to milk the cows on the dairy farm twice a day. We did a lot of day trips. But a relaxing vacation that I did take in college will be the one that I will give the speech on. It was my, I believe, junior year of college, and the church that I was going to at the time would do an annual spring break trip to the Smoky Mountains. At that time in my college career, I had just switched majors. I was feeling rather stressed, and being in an urban environment, or I guess it'd be more of a suburban environment at Purdue University, I need some grass and some trees, nature to really recharge and just be myself. That week in the Smoky Mountains was very relaxing. My friends and I were able to partake in some Bible studies, watch a few resplendent sunrises and a couple of beautiful sunsets. And I found it just very relaxing to be in nature with some old friends, some new friends, the Word of God, and just allow the trees and the streams and the grass just to give me a positive vibe, to feel relaxed, to finish that last semester and recharge for my senior year. Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster.
Thank you, Olivia. How do you, using the word of the day, resplendent, how do you notice you're approaching burnout? Barb.
Well, resplendent is a word I've never heard of before, so that's new, and so I can't think of a way to put it in a sentence right now. Burnout. The truth is, I think probably around now. As some of you know that I've been coming to Toastmasters for some time. I'm 63 years old now. I'm sort of semi-retired. But my husband and I have been facing some tremendous amount of obstacles. Everything from the fact that he has cancer, so we've been dealing with that. I have 2 pets now that are old, and 17-year-olds old is pretty good for cats. But, you know, they're like family, and it's really been hard to try to face the fact that they're not going to be around much longer. I'm also at the age, too, where, for example, it got really hot this weekend. Well, our air conditioner upstairs didn't quite work. We're both older, trying to drag down a 50-pound air conditioner to, 2 floors in order to either repair it or buy a new one. So we're coming up against the fact that we don't have the strength or the endurance that we used to have, and it's just like life suddenly is becoming overwhelmingly like more of a burden for us. I'm still trying to finish up a project I actually started 10 years ago, and that is scanning in my family's photos. I had no idea there were so many. Go in the closets, boxes full of photos. Some of them are yellow, some of them are faded, and then trying to repair them. And then on top of that, thinking maybe I should go back to work for a couple more years because I can't really get insurance. I don't know if anyone knows, there's this gap of like can't get on Medicare till you're 65, and if you try to buy your own insurance, it's like tremendously expensive. So anyway, right now, I'm tremendously burnt out, and that's why I'm least grateful for Toastmasters, because at least coming here, I'd like to get back started on my pathways, but at times, like my husband says, I'm spreading myself too thin. But it's good to make that connection that I'm not the only one with problems. And sometimes then just being around people that are optimistic, how they've overcome things just cheers me up, and I tell you, it's really worth coming here, and so I hope that answers. Thank you.
Thank you for that excellent reply. Using the word of the day, resplendent, what do you do to recover from burnout? John.
Mr. Topic Master, you asked about burnout. Burnout. It's a little like being bored, but just to a greater extent, bored. And I've been blessed in that a lot of times I'm just not bored. So burnout is something I know a little bit about in some areas of life, but it's not like at work that I'm feeling burned out, unless you count the fact that I'm not there right when I'm supposed to start my day. I'm always a little late to show up, and I work a little longer after the final bell. I slide in that way. When I left teaching, was that really burnout? I will say it was a certain giving up. It was, that was difficult. And that I hadn't given up on kids, but I had given up on the powers that be, sticking up for teachers. But when, burnout is like any other irritation of your body. It's a signal that something has got to change. Something's got to change. And so I suppose the silver lining when I left teaching was through a couple of encounters, I learned more about technical writing, and that's what I do now. So when you think about burnout, if you're confronted with burnout, try to embrace the change. Come to Toastmasters, you'll get all kinds of practice and you'll experience change. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, John. Using the word of the day, resplendent, when in the day do you consider yourself at your peak time? Sebastian.
Would you mind repeating that for me? I was just thinking about the word. Thank you.
Can you repeat it for him, Kevin? Kevin, can you
repeat
that
the
for him?
question?
Sure. Using the word of the day, when in the day do you consider yourself at your peak time?
All right. Well, recently I was dealing with a lot of burnout kind of feeling. I felt completely out of space. I don't know how to explain it. There was multiple ways of expressing this. I've been doing therapy for about 5 years of my life already, and one of the topics that I'm always talking about is feeling completely drained, especially during nighttime. One of the things that I don't really appreciate is wintertime. I have seasonal depression, I guess that's what they call it. Anything that has to be related with emotions now, there is a meaning behind it, and there might be a reason why you can feel that way. I grew up in a place where it was most of the time it was warm. I was not used to see snow and stuff like that. And when I moved here and I found out that the US has saving time and all of that, it's something that completely changed seeing the day become at night at 4 p.m. It freaked me out. It was really scary. I didn't know what was going on, and I was like calling my mom, thinking, what can I do about it? My husband actually bought some lights that make during winter time, we can make the day a little longer, so it helps me a lot. But I would say usually when the sun goes away, the sun brings me a lot of energy, really positive energy. Being outside this time of the year brings me a lot of, I can notice this, my energy growing, and I can connect with people, and I think that is brilliant for me. I think that's how I can experience my life better without hitting the time of the year where I don't see the sun anymore. So if I could keep the sun around with me all year long, I would appreciate that for sure. So thank you.
Thank you. Using the word of the day, resplendent, what do you do to relax?
Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster. Using the word resplendent, what do I do to relax and unwind? Usually I go backpacking or go visit my family. That's two of my favorite things. Now, when I say family, I'm not married, do not have children, so it's usually my mom, my dad, my sister, folks like that. I really enjoy spending time with them. None of them live in this area. I have to drive 3 hours at a minimum to get to where any of them are at, but I do so enjoy the time with them. I have nieces and nephews. They're all teenagers and above now, teens and 20-somethings. But I enjoy spending time with them too. They're kind of little adults now that can have conversations, pretty intellectual conversations with me now. So I enjoy speaking with them too. But that's just some of the things that I enjoy doing to relax and to pass the time.
Now, a question for our guests. What brought you to our Toastmasters meeting tonight? Miguel.
Thank you. So, biggest reason for myself coming to Toastmasters, I think as I continue to progress throughout my career, I think I've noticed the biggest things that I see from great leaders, right? Previous managers, current managers, it's the way they communicate with each other, right? Very good way to connect with one another, clearly express their thoughts, ideas with each other. So I understood from that perspective that if I one day want to be a great leader as well, just like my mentors in the past, is how can I develop myself, what skills do I need? Public speaking was one of those skills that I feel like are very valuable. It's a skill that's it's definitely needed for you to continue to advance your career and hopefully one day be a great leader as well, right? How can I express my thoughts, ideas clearly so that way they understand where I'm coming from. So that's the biggest reason for me joining Toastmasters. So continue to get practice and continue to get feedback so I continue to improve. Thank you.
So to summarize our table topic session tonight, what is the most relaxing vacation you've taken was answered by Olivia. How do you notice you're approaching burnout? Bart. What do you do to recover from burnout? John. When in the day do you consider yourself at your peak? Sebastian. What activity do you do to relax or unwind? Miguel. And what brought you to Toastmasters? Miguel. Michael did the what activity do you use to unwind? It was Michael.
Michael, not me.
And
It's,
what brought you to Toastmasters? Miguel.
Same thing, right?
Please cast your votes, and I'll pick them up as our meeting progresses. If you're online, please send your votes to Sheila.
My timer.
What?
Send it to timer, Olivia.
Gosh, I haven't done this in forever.
I'm gonna return control to. Hey Kevin. Kevin, are you gonna return control to Francisco?
He's doing their ballot.
He's gonna keep us in suspense about what his next move is.
And Francisco, did you give your vote?
Yeah.
Then it's here. Return control of the lectern.
Huh?
Give return.
Oh,
I'll be that later.
so it's been a while since I've been in person. Now I'd like to return control of our meeting back to our Toastmaster, Francisco Palacio.
Thank you. We're learning from the best here. Excellent answers, everyone. I have to ask Sheila, who signed up to be general evaluator?
I don't know.
Me.
You did?
I don't mind wearing multiple hats. It comes with the practice, guys, you know. The agenda ideally is pre-filled. However, most of us end up stepping in. You're doing that counter grammarian, right?
No, I'm doing the evaluator.
Oh, you're evaluating? Who's doing that counter? Barbara?
No, I'll counter.
Oh,
John's I'll
perfect. Okay,
counter. And Barb can do the general evaluator if you don't want to, if you want to.
You want to, Barbara?
Sure, I can do
Okay,
that.
coming up then.
Are we gonna do,
Call up your.
You do the start and then you introduce him.
oh,
That's why I was asking, who's the general evaluator, so you can introduce the evaluators and the rest of the team.
okay.
Yeah, hi Barbara, that's our spot, that's our marker.
Well, tonight we just had one speech, and our evaluator is Michael, and he's gonna come up here and explain, all the good things and any notes of improvements in the speech that we just read from her tonight. It's Michael.
Daniel, I've noticed something. You only come to the special events.
Ah!
That's why I was like, as I was sitting there thinking, I was like, when was our last special event? I was like, it was Halloween. That's when I saw Daniel. You only come to those, but it's great. I appreciate it. It's always.
We have fun at every event.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to hear you speak. And I always know when you show up, like when I see your name on the attendance, I'm like, there's something special going on at Daniel's company. So I appreciate it. It is always great to hear you speak. I appreciate being able to do the evaluation tonight. It's a skill that I'm working on. I'm not great at it, but I've signed up for this role for about a month now, every week for the, well, actually no longer, for about the last 8 weeks, so that's 2 months. Just trying to improve this skill for me. Because it was an area I knew that I was really weak at. So I appreciate being able to evaluate your speech tonight. You did really well at engaging the audience. I've actually never seen all the things that you did before. Not only did you ask us 2 different questions, but then you also, I'm gonna call it awkward, the moment of silence, but it was meant to be. Like, you didn't tell us what we were supposed to do. Your question, I think if I got it right, was, you asked us to try something, and then you didn't finish it. And then I was writing, I was working on the evaluation, and after a moment or 2 of silence went by, I was like, it so quiet in here? And I looked up and I was like, oh, that's the point. I'm supposed to be quiet. Good job. You did very well. What you may want to work on, Daniel, I didn't find anything. But that's not because of anything you did. It's more because of myself. I'm working on improving this skill, and I really just didn't find anything that you actually needed to work on. Something that you might challenge yourself on is maybe work on the magic trick. It was great, and I got the connection part, and it worked. But I also thought that maybe it could have been a little bit simpler or something. I don't know. I'm definitely not a magic trick expert, but I'm sure you can come up with something that will make it, even better. But it did work the way you said it, or not really the way you said it would, but the way I imagined that it would. But thank you for that, Daniel. Mr. Toastmaster.
This is,
Madam Evaluator.
she runs this part. She has to introduce the
Barb.
accountant grammarian and then
Mr.
do the
Chairman.
evaluation.
Thank you.
Madam
And
Francisco.
you may want to explain the role too, Barbara.
See, well, the next.
Francisco.
You actually done it differently.
Well, right now, we should be giving the best votes for the table topics. That is next.
Yes, it's already done, that is already done.
And did we go ahead and announce that now?
No, it's after you.
Okay. So anyway, we only had one speech tonight, and we only had one evaluation. And Michael, same as me, I didn't see anything wrong with your speech at all. It was wonderful, and I was very captivated by it. And I know sometimes evaluating people, you've got to split your brain between looking for anything that could help the speaker, and at the same time, you want to listen to the speech itself and see how it impacts, because it's not only impacting you, but it's impacting everybody that's listening. So overall, I think you did a great evaluation. So far, everything has worked out in the meeting is right on time, and I'd like to go ahead and pass it on to.
Call on your county grammarian.
Oh, that's right. I apologize. Jumping ahead, it's been a while since I've been to meetings. So now we need to do sort of the tag team, and we have an grammarian, the all counter, and is that John? Can you go ahead and give us our report?
So, Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, of course I did this my way. Our counter grammarian report is tonight going to be some word postcards. You heard the word resplendent. Think of those occasions when you heard the word resplendent. Did we give ourselves a good definition of resplendent? And I say that because someone later said, didn't really get the definition. And in my line of work, I don't take it personally as a failure, but I sure want to preempt it. I want to make sure it doesn't happen. I want to do something proactive because I really want everybody to get it. So, if you've got the word of the day, if you would like to own the word of the day, then also take it a step further and do your best so that you don't hear the comment, I wasn't sure what it meant. Not dinging anybody, I'm just saying that's how we raise the bar. Non-strident. You heard that picture postcard, word postcard tonight. And was it defined? Yes. It means something to me now. Didn't mean anything to me an hour ago. Connections. Different people spoke about connections. I bet you have a picture in your mind about someone speaking about connections and trust and most precious treasure. There was the word affirmations. We heard the word nap and gap. was burnout, boredom, the external brain, positive energy, and then a whole bunch of R words. Reboot, recharge, renew, relax.
Resplendent.
And we also heard at some point the word control. And I'll return control to our general evaluator. Carter.
And now, whenever we give the speech, it's also good to keep in mind the timing. You don't want to be asked a question where you're only expected to give a 1-minute response and talk for 15 minutes. So Sheila has taken the role of keeping track of how long we spend for every one of our speeches. Sheila Morris.
As Barb mentioned, it's very important, like if you're in a meeting, if they give you 2 minutes, to be able to speak within 2 minutes, right? You don't want to go yammering on, which is something I have a tendency to do, like I am now. But it's a good practice. This is a nice place to get that practice in. Daniel asked for a time of 20 minutes, which would have been giving him the green light at 15 minutes, the yellow light at 17 and a half, and the red light at 20 minutes. And his time was 19 minutes and 21 seconds. Table topics, the object is to speak for at least 1 minute, and you get the red light at 2 minutes, and you have 30 seconds to wrap it up. We stayed in time with everybody this evening because Kevin didn't ask me a question. Olivia, you spoke for 2 minutes. Barb, you were at 2 minutes and 22 seconds. John, you were at 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Sebastian, you spoke for 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And I would like to say that that is great for your first table topic, because I believe my first table topic that I ever did at Triangle Toastmasters was probably 32 seconds long, and it was awful. But you did a nice job.
Thank you.
Michael, you spoke for 1 minute and 1 second, and Miguel, you spoke for 1 minute and 13 seconds. Michael, your evaluations are supposed to be between 2 minutes and 3 minutes. You spoke for 2 minutes and 27 seconds, which would have kept you within the qualifying time if you were in a contest, because you had that extra 30 seconds. We did great this evening, staying on time. Madam General,
Thank you. This is my role for tonight, and I'd like to turn it over to our Toastmaster here. Let's go.
Now you can.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have ravens? No, not anymore?
Ribbons, for what?
Ravens for the award. Table topics.
But I have something better.
All right. We used to have ravens and a lot of things, and then, something came and stopped us for 2 years, so. Oh, I see. I guess we're doing pretty good on time. What time is it right now?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Perfect. You did find one? Oh, perfect.
On ribbon.
Great.
I'm old fashioned that way. I like the badges, I like the pins, I like the banners. That's actually a vintage one. Thank
Suitable for
you.
framing.
And so please, a round of applause for our table, or we can do also this table topics winner. Michael Williamson. Michael, good job.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's part of it. Let me see.
What's my rundown?
There we go, your rundown. We have have plenty of time for Miguel, Sebastian, and even Daniel, who comes only for the fun things. Impressions. So I would say, what if we timed it to 3 minutes and we invite them to come up and tell us what you thought about the meeting?
I'm not gonna time them.
Oh, well then, open mic. Who wants to come first? Come
Open
on.
mic.
We have 15 minutes. Come on.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Now you give us feedback. Come on, Miguel. Good impression. That's the top of the meeting. Thank you, Miguel.
Yeah, so I think this is probably the fourth time that I've attended one as a guest, so I'm definitely ready to sign the slip and get on board here. But since I've been here, it's been very great. It's been collaborative, great feedback from others, myself when it comes to speeches. Good environment, good energy, I feel. So definitely looking forward to continue to come here and keep improving. So that's all our remarks I have. So great things.
Thank you, Miguel.
Who wants to go next? There you go. Sebastian.
Well, thank you everyone for letting me come over here and get to see and get to meet everyone. I was not expecting to talk today, but I would say that it was great to do it because everyone kind of has, I guess, that idea. I suffer from anxiety and I've been working on it for years, and being able to talk to strangers and people that I've never met before kind of shows me that I'm capable of doing those stuff, and I can see that you guys are working on that, and I appreciate y'all for working on that. And I think it's a great experience. You know, I think I'm gonna go home and think I'm glad that I went up there and talked in front of everyone, because it's a really great way to, like I said, break that wall of insecurity and think that we might not be capable of doing those stuff. And especially when you do it in a way that you're gonna improve yourself and learn new skills and connect and all that we've been talking about today. I thought it was great, and everyone has their own way of expressing themselves, and I thought that everyone did great. So yeah, I was glad to see my husband. I'm glad to be up here, and I think what you guys are doing, it's incredible, and I'm definitely coming back again and see how you guys are doing.
Perfect.
You spoke for too long, but that's okay. You're okay. Come on. We do run a membership, guys. Let's be clear. I mean, it makes the club bigger and stronger. So
I think I'm up to date on my membership.
You're up to date.
Final words from our
He was
keynote
the first
speaker.
person paid through September 30.
Perfect. Then impressions from our keynote speaker. Then I'm sorry.
I'm not officially in Club Central. I'm sorry, not yet.
No, I've been in the background quite a bit for the last few months. I've been doing a lot of learning about myself and everything, and I do want to get back to these meetings more often. So this was really great, having an opportunity to get up and to be able to give another speech, and so I definitely want to be back more often.
Okay.
Hang on for the next open house. I saw the final thought blank, and as your interim acting wannabe BPPR on the YouTube, we need to record the Zooms also, but we better organize that. At the end of the day, guys, to me, somebody said collaborative. It is a collaborative effort. It is a connected effort to make the time, prepare the agenda, serve as in any capacity, as you saw today, we switch hats and all that. This club is worth the drive. I live down in Madison, Indiana, okay? And I don't know if they're gonna see it. They asked me at work because we had a club, but due to COVID, we chartered in 2019, due to COVID, we couldn't keep it going. So what do? I signed up online. I came back to this club. I'm now at another club in Germany, trying to learn Mandarin. So I get it, Daniel, the non-striving part, but yeah, I'm minding those steps. I'm trying not to be overwhelmed by that, not to be burned out, but arguably we're striving for something. Be it maybe not the ideal way, one big bite at a time, or in little chunks. And every single meeting counts, because at every single meeting, it's like John said before, we get a chance to practice. Be it as the MC, be it as the account grammarian, these roles can get detailed. And to me personally, is that detail that I've gotten from so many other people that in this club come in and told me the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there are things that can be improved upon, is that I'm now standing here and saying, not so bad, not so bad. So, final thought is reboot, refresh, refocus, and make it a resplendent learning experience. That's how Pathways is titled. It's a learning experience. Okay? And with that, I'm going to give some time to our Vice President of Education. You wanna close with something, Olivia, since we haven't seen you in a while? A few words?
Why not?
There you go. Thank you, Olivia.
Olivia, I have a sign-up sheet that I'm going to pass around for folks.
Yes, please consider signing up for a role on the page that Sheila is going to be passing around. The agendas are currently out from now until the end of the Toastmaster year, which is at the end of June. I feel like it's been forever since I've been to a meeting. Although my daughter was born 8 weeks ago today, and it doesn't feel like 2 months.
Resplendent.
Yes, new vocation in life has been pretty fun. For Toastmasters, we want to know what your why you're here, why you want to be here. Toastmasters is, you can come, you can go. We want to help you develop those leadership skills and also be able to have that confidence to stand up and give speeches. I will say I did miss the applause. Not that I've been giving speeches and excessively visiting people in the 8 weeks that I've been on maternity leave. But I will say having the applause or listening to the applause after each speech, that has definitely been something to help. That's definitely been refreshing and something that can definitely help me reboot my Toastmasters, I guess, journey, if you will. Again, we want to know your goals. We do have a mentoring program. Let me know or the president know if you want to be a part of that, and we can pair you up with someone who can help you reach those goals that you have personally or professionally. And we're glad that you all are here. It's definitely been good to refocus and look forward to future Toastmaster meetings with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia, always on point. And with that, I hand this meeting over back to our president, Sheila, so she can bring it to a close.
Thank you, Francisco. I really enjoyed the energy in the room tonight. It was exciting. I enjoyed being your president this year. But at the next meeting, alas, we will be electing new officers. I sent out an email to all the membership to collect nominees, and I received information from exactly 2 people. I spoke with Olivia earlier, and she is going to take a sabbatical from serving as an officer for this coming year, as she is learning to balance baby and work and everything else. So that's
New mom.
understandably. And I believe that Lee said he is not interested in any roles this coming year as well. And Kevin, he's been heavy over the past few years with district leadership and stuff, and he's not interested in that at this point either, right?
Just wait till she gets me home.
If you're not one of those people,
Jazz,
then
dear.
I'll see you. Right now, we have had 2 people, actually 3 people, feel that Michael would be an excellent president. He's been nominated as president. Lee Kennedy was nominated for Sergeant at Arms, but he's not interested. Kevin was nominated as treasurer, he's not interested. And we need somebody to be a secretary. So we are looking at some new members. Brennan, I think he would be good in some roles. We'd like to get him in there. I was thinking maybe that might be a good role for him. Maybe if Daniel's interested in becoming more active and bringing his better half with him to the meetings, and
It comes with training. It comes
really
with training.
It's nice when you're doing this with your spouse. I'm speaking from experience. Because you can support each other. And you have somebody built in would be a good resource to go to when you're trying to work through a problem on a project. So that's just a shameless plug. That it's a great thing. I knew, like, when you and Natalie were working in Toastmasters together, it was enjoyable, right?
Yes, it
You
was.
had somebody to drive back and forth. Made the drive from Madison to Earl Lake a lot nicer, having
Yes, it
somebody
was.
to ride with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, just put that out there. John, if somebody were to join tonight, what would it cost for them?
Thank you, Madam President. To join tonight, if you've not been a Toastmaster member before, then one thing included is a $20 startup fee. It gets you your first path. And it is a total of $850 per month times 5 if you're joining in May. We can backdate it if you want. But joining in May, quick, 8.5 times 5. 1734, 4250 plus the 20. So 6250 would help you get your foot in the door and take you through, keep you a member through the end of September. When September comes, you renew just like everybody else. Current rate for that is $51. So if you do the math over 12 months, it's just a little over $100 for an entire year of supporting the international organization. You can go around the world and say, I am a Toastmaster member just like other people in their clubs in Germany or elsewhere. And it's not like you can just kind of muscle in on their meeting and run their meeting for them, but they might let you. You never know. Your mileage will vary as you visit other clubs because each club has its own culture. But Toastmasters as an international organization means we all work with the same format. We all know the same groundwork. If you are traveling for business and the city where you're visiting has got a Toastmaster club or a few Toastmaster clubs, you can find out which clubs are near your zip code and whether it's going to work out in your schedule. Go and share with them. If you're getting a lot out of it tonight, you'll get a lot out of it also as a visitor at another club. So to get things started, $62.50 is the initial investment, plus whatever you put into it. You tend to get multiples out of what you put in. So if it's the dues only, you're not going to get a whole lot out. But if you will say, sure, I'll give a speech. Sure, I'll do that table topic. Sure, I'll be the table topic master. Oh yeah, I'll run that camera. You will get a tremendous amount of transferable skills, which means just going along in daily life, you're going to hit upon things where what you learned in Toastmasters is going to get you all warmed up and feeling natural and comfortable for doing things that you would not ordinarily in your previous life do. I think right now, to some extent, we're all going through a little weirdness. We went through 2 years of whatever that was, and there's some recovery involved, and I think it's probably different for each person. I think we've got a real key here to accelerate all of that. And you might say, oh, I'm really tired of those video meetings. I don't want to do another one. I can tell you that in the district level leadership, we're just getting more and more creative with with what video presence allows. We're a big district. We're not just 10 miles from end to end. We are hundreds of miles from one end to the other. And through video conferencing, and more Toastmasters becoming a little bit savvier, a little more comfortable using video conferencing, we're joining Columbus, Lexington, other points, West Virginia, where we can. You don't have to take hours to travel, but you have the option. It's nice that you travel. So lots of exciting things in terms of communications and leadership, and we want you to succeed. The thing is, you're gonna have to go through some awkwardness sometimes in order to get to that success thereafter. Right? So, that list that she was passing around, take on one little challenge. Something that's gonna make you sweat a little bit at 6:55, the evening of our next meeting. You will feel so good at 9 o'clock in the evening because you accomplished something and you stepped out of your comfort zone. You made it possible, and this group helped you make it possible. So we appreciate everybody here. We appreciate this ongoing journey. We hope, if you're not part of it yet, that you will become a part of our group and hang in there every time with us. Madam President.
Does anybody else have anything for the good of the club?
Can we pose for a picture before we all go?
Okay.
Can we stand by there, and can we get Olivia to say something so she's
Yes, this one.
There you go, okay. Oh,
Hi.
there she is, just along here, between the banner and here. All right.
You're hiding, Barbara. There you go. Okay, perfect, good. There you go.
I've got the thing here.
There you go.
I've got this set up so I can take this too.
Okay, go ahead.
From my.
We need John, we need John.
Yeah. Probably didn't. I know why. Take a warm-up picture, I guess.
Francisco, you can be in this one too.
No, I'll be there. I need to stop the recording and then go there and then take a picture and all that.
Yeah, the one you're seeing at the
Thank you.
Is that on your laptop?
Okay, are we ready, John? Okay.
People in front.
Okay, we're saying she's live. Hello, YouTube. Hello, everybody who watched or wanted to watch a little bit of what we did today. Look at the camera. Okay, I'm gonna stop that now. Yeah, I'm gonna stop that now.
You can see the camera.
That was the end of it.
The cameras can't see you.
Uh-huh.